Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm back with a brand new video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Daniel Bryan Best of 2012 action figure. This is one of the figures I got a couple of weeks ago, maybe about a month, maybe over a month ago, month and some change ago, from McKay's, which is a local used bookstore that they sell a lot of used action figures. I've gotten quite a few figures from there over the years, and on my last few visits, there actually are just a story that I actually moving to a new location in Mebane, North Carolina. So the Greensboro location, which is going to be open, I think, only for a couple more weeks. A lot of people have just been, dropping stuff off there and trading things in. And they've got more of an influx of I guess classic vintage WWE Mattel figures than any time I can recall going there in the last few years. So just about every time I go, I see something that catches my eye. Of course, cannot get everything, but I did definitely pick this up. So I also got a Chris Jericho figure, which I unboxed a few weeks back. So check out that video as well if you haven't. And again, this is just a meat and potatoes Daniel Bryan figure. This is you can see best of 2012, so this was very early into his WWE tenure. Daniel Bryan, of course, now known as Bryan Danielson in AEW. He came to WWE in actually 2009. I think he was signed in 2009, didn't debut on TV until 2010, I believe, in that the initial season of inaugural season of NXT. And then, of course, we all know his career. He was a classic underdog. He had a great career on, in Ring of Honor, notably in the Indies, overseas, and then came to WWE. He was really the he and Punk were really the two guys that really broke down the door for the current generation of performers who, got their real exposure on the indie scene, because without the success of Bryan and Punk in WWE, I do not think we would have gotten the Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and just so many other. List is almost infinite of guys who are major stars in WWE today who honed their teeth on the indie scene. You wouldn't even have, I think, the current, really the last, you could really say almost the last decade, the last 8 years of NXT, without the success of these guys, and even with a guy like Gunther, a guy like him coming from the indies. So it's just very, you can just look up and down the roster and see so many huge stars that I think Bryan and Punk opened the door for, in a sense. I love these boxes. They are so just distinctive and big, and it's like a little stand almost. Just really cool. We see the other figures in this series. We have Mysterio, Brodus Clay, Alberto Del Rio, Great Khali, Sin Cara. So a very international set. I see. Look at Sin Cara, Khali, Alberto, and Mysterio. So quite a few non-Americans in here. So but we got the American Dragon. So we're gonna get into this. And this is just a basic by the bones figures, but still it was cheap, and definitely just like these older school style figures. And so here we go in his classic burgundy. I like the burgundy, the thick kind of kick style boots and the knee pads, and looks like we have it's like white flames on the trunks and the boots. And in 2012, Bryan was just starting to really become a name in WWE, because if my memory serves me correct, he debuted in 2010. Well, I guess on TV in 2010. He was a part of the NXT season. He was a part of the Nexus. He was a part of that epic beatdown that they gave to, I think, Cena and a lot of other WWE stars on that episode of Raw in the summer of 2010. And then he was fired because of his performance in it. He had choked just announcer Justin Roberts with a tie, and it was really kind of graphic, so he was fired. But they brought him back to participate in the big Team Nexus versus Team WWE match at SummerSlam that year. And then from that, I think his first notable feud program was with The Miz, and he feuded with Dolph Ziggler. So we're in 2012 now. He's bubbling. He's not what he would be in 2013 and onward, but there's definitely a groundswell of support. He's feuding with CM Punk by this point. I believe 2012 was the year where he had, but he has the almost legendary match against Sheamus that only goes, I think, 12 seconds. And the company, they did that as a way to, because Bryan was the champion going in. He was a world champion on SmackDown going into that show, and the company really did it as a way to basically get Bryan out of the main picture and really promote and push Sheamus as the top guy on SmackDown. But the fans ended up turning on it so badly because, yeah, and then that started really what would become a Bryan tradition in WWE, just the groundswell of support. And the seeds of 2012 is definitely what led to the Yes movement exploding in 2013 and early 2014. That led to his WrestleMania main event and win in WrestleMania 30. And also 2012, he feuded with Punk a lot that year. I think that's when he was with AJ Lee. AJ was his manager. And I think that was the start of the Team Hell No with Kane. So 2012 was a very notable year for Bryan. A lot was going on in his career that was going to set him up for him to become the legend that we know of today. So again, cool figure, very, like I said, by the book basics, not a lot of bells and whistles, but hey, it's a cool period figure from a piece of his career. And I love Bryan. He's one of my favorites of this modern generation. Really, he's one of the best wrestlers I think I've ever seen in my entire life. So when I think of great in-ring wrestlers who have really changed the style of wrestling in this country over the years, you have to look at your Shawn Michaels, your Bret Harts. I would say, your Rey Mysterios, definitely, and then Bryan's in that mix too because he has definitely influenced so many people who are in the business now. So again, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you have a great Easter Resurrection Sunday. It's been a great week here. So like I said, it's a very good day outside. It feels actually awesome. I think we're going to hit close to mid 70s today. So I'm loving this. Hope you love this cool Full Metal Alchemist hoodie I have on. If you know, you know. I gotta rep FMA, my favorite anime of all time. And again, just thank you all, as I say all the time, for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. I definitely appreciate it. I do my best to respond to every comment. And as I always say, thank you again, because you could be doing a lot of other things with your time. There are millions of other channels you could be watching, but you're taking out the time to watch mine, and I do appreciate it. So I hope you have a great rest of the day, and I will talk to you again after a while.